Where do you feel his presence the most in this whole place?
Graceland is where I really feel the presence. I mean, his spirit is there.
There's no way around it. Graceland has always protected the memory of Elvis Presley, but it has also been protecting a massive secret. After recent accusations threw his legacy into chaos, officials finally unsealed a hidden part of the mansion. They were looking for answers. What they found instead was a game changer.
And this room is so unique because it has both carpet on both the floor and the ceiling, which made it great acoustics for this room.
This discovery isn't just about Elvis's private life. It points to a carefully crafted deception that has lasted for decades, leaving everyone speechless. The Fortress of Secrets. For nearly 50 years, the world believed Graceland had given up all its secrets. But they were wrong. Deep within the heart of the mansion, behind a door that was never meant to be opened, a discovery has been made. This find comes just as a storm of shocking accusations about Elvis's final years has left fans utterly speechless. The timing is no coincidence. The thing is, what was found inside this hidden room seems to confirm the darkest whispers about the king. It suggests a man living a double life, haunted by something he could never escape. Truth be told, Graceland was always more than just a home. It was a fortress. In 1957, a 22-year-old Elvis bought the property for just over $100,000. He was already a global superstar. His music was everywhere and crowds followed his every move. He needed a sanctuary, a place to escape the noise. Graceland, with its tall white columns and sprawling grounds in Memphis, Tennessee, became that escape, or so it seemed. He brought his parents, Vernon and Gladys, to live with him. It was meant to be a family haven, but even then the seeds of secrecy were being planted. Elvis began transforming the house. He added rooms that reflected his personality, like the famous Jungle Room. With its green shag carpet covering the floor and even the ceiling, it was a wild, exotic space. It was here he recorded some of his most emotional final songs. It was a room of creative genius, but also, some now say, a room of isolation. Was this quirky paradise actually a cage? The accusations that have recently surfaced paint a picture of a man in turmoil. Sources close to the family have hinted at deep-seated unhappiness and paranoia. They suggest the king of rock and roll felt trapped by his own fame. This new discovery in the hidden room, a collection of private journals and unsent letters, seems to give weight to these claims. The writings allegedly detail a profound loneliness and a desire to disappear from the public eye completely. Fans are left wondering, was the smiling superstar we saw on stage just a character? This hidden room wasn't on any public tour. It wasn't the famous off-limits upstairs bedroom. This was a purpose-built, climate-controlled vault, hidden behind a false wall in the basement archives. For decades, only a handful of people even knew of its existence. Its contents were considered the most sensitive of all of Elvis's personal effects. The decision to finally open it was reportedly made by the estate after the accusations became too loud to ignore. They hoped to find something to clear his name. Instead, they may have found the opposite. Graceland has welcomed over 20 million visitors since it opened to the public in 1982. Everyone from Muhammad Ali to Prince William has walked its halls. But no one saw this coming. The mansion tells one story, a story of fame, family, and success. But these newfound documents suggest a much sadder tale. They speak of a secret that Elvis carried, a burden so heavy that it shaped his final days. The meditation garden at Graceland is the final resting place for Elvis and his family. It's a place of peace and remembrance. But now, even this sacred ground feels different, shadowed by these new revelations. The discovery in the hidden room doesn't just add a new chapter to Elvis's life, it forces us to reread the entire book. What other secrets are still locked away inside those walls? The Keeper of the King's Secrets. Every secret needs a keeper. At Graceland, that person is Angie Marchese. As the head archivist, she presides over a hidden world of memories. It's a staggering collection of over 1.5 million items. Her job is to protect everything from Elvis's iconic jumpsuits to his grocery lists. But after the recent discovery, her role is seen in a new light. Is she just a preserver of history, or has she been a gatekeeper of the truth all along? Believe it or not, Angie's journey at Graceland began with a simple summer job when she was just 17. She started as a tour guide before heading to college, but she felt a deep connection to the place and never left. Over the decades, she rose through the ranks, earning the complete trust of the Presley family. She became the guardian of Elvis's legacy. Now people are asking what she knew about the contents of that secret vault. Did she know about the journals? Did she understand the story they told? The Graceland archives are a marvel of preservation. The sheer scale is mind-boggling. Housed in an 80,000 square foot facility, the collection is a meticulous record of a superstar's life. Angie and her team of 21 people are responsible for every single artifact. They clean the mansion 3 times a week, treating the house itself as the most important item in the collection. Every piece, from a handwritten note to a pair of sunglasses from 1972, is handled with extreme care. This level of dedication is impressive, but it also suggests a desire to control the narrative. Elvis and his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, saved everything. This created an archive unlike any other. While Bruce Springsteen and Lou Reed also have archives, Graceland is different because it's a home frozen in time. That's its magic, but it's also what makes the secret vault so unsettling. It was a secret within a secret, a story hidden from the storytellers. The accusations against Elvis focus on his state of mind. The newly discovered writings reportedly show a man desperate for a different life. For years, Angie has presented a specific image of Elvis to the world: the devoted son, the loving father, the generous star. But these documents challenge that narrative. They suggest the pressure was too much. The question now is whether the preservation of his legacy has come at the cost of the truth. At the end of the day, an archivist's job is to preserve, not to interpret. But when the material is this explosive, where does that line get drawn? Angie herself has said that every item tells a story. She believes even a torn wallet can reveal something profound about the man. So what story do these secret journals tell? The estate has remained tight-lipped, but the fact that these documents were kept under lock and key for so long is telling. It implies that someone knew their contents were too controversial for public consumption. Someone decided that this part of Elvis's story should remain buried. But secrets like this have a way of coming out, and now that this one has, it changes everything we thought we knew about the man behind the music. The Untouched Sanctum and the Chaos Room. Beyond the velvet ropes and public tours, the real Graceland exists. It's a place of strange contrasts. The pristine, untouched upstairs sanctum and the wild, chaotic basement tell 2 different stories. It was in these private spaces that the real Elvis lived, away from the cameras. And it's here in the memories of his daughter Lisa Marie that we find clues to the man described in the secret journals. The upstairs of Graceland has been off-limits since the day the music stopped in 1977. It was Elvis's ultimate private space. Only his ex-wife Priscilla and his daughter Lisa Marie were ever allowed to enter. Lisa Marie described her father's bedroom as a world of its own. It had a large black bed and bold gold accents. It was the lair of a king, a dramatic and silent space. It remains perfectly preserved, a room holding its breath for almost 50 years. This sacred silence feels heavier now, knowing the turmoil that might have been hidden there. But here's where it gets crazy. Directly below this quiet sanctuary was the complete opposite, the basement. This was a place of noise, laughter, and mayhem. The pool room in particular was known as the chaos room. Lisa Marie remembered it as a place of pure fun. Pool balls would fly through the air. Her father would play pranks, once even setting off a device with a strange gas just to surprise everyone. It was a playground where rules didn't exist. This stark contrast between the silent upstairs and the wild downstairs paints a picture of a man of extremes. Was he seeking balance, or was he living in two separate worlds? The famous Jungle Room was another one of these personal spaces. To outsiders, it's a quirky museum piece. To Lisa Marie, it was just home. It was a room where she could be a normal kid away from the pressures of her father's fame. But it was also the room where Elvis recorded his final albums. Those songs are filled with a deep sense of melancholy and introspection. It's almost as if the wild decor of the room was a mask for the sadness in the music being made within it. These hidden parts of Graceland are where the real man lived. The newly found journals reportedly describe a desire to escape, to live a simple life away from the spotlight. Looking at these private, eccentric spaces, you start to understand why. Graceland was his castle, but it was also his gilded cage. He could control every detail inside its walls, from the carpet on the ceiling to the pranks in the basement. But he couldn't control the world outside. The pressure was immense. The family's love is preserved in the Graceland Annex. His wedding tuxedo, Priscilla's gown, and Lisa's childhood cradle are all there. They tell a story of a loving father and a close family. But how do we square this with the image of a man so unhappy he wrote about disappearing? It's a contradiction that lies at the heart of the Elvis mystery. Perhaps both are true. Perhaps he was a man who loved his family deeply, but was also crumbling under a weight no one could see. And maybe the biggest secret Graceland holds isn't in a room, but in the unresolved story of the man himself. The final disappearing act. So, what does this all lead to? A man trapped by fame, a secret vault with hidden journals. It all sounds like the setup for a great mystery. The thing is, for millions of people, that's exactly what it is. The accusations and the discovery in the hidden room feed into the biggest conspiracy theory of them all, that Elvis Presley faked his own final day. Could a man really just walk away from it all? For the average person, it seems impossible. But Elvis wasn't an average person, and the details might make you wonder. The story goes like this. Shortly after news broke of his sudden departure, a man looking a lot like Elvis bought a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires. He paid in cash. He used the name John Burroughs, an alias Elvis frequently used for travel. Was it a coincidence? Die-hard believers say no. They argue it was the first step in a masterfully planned escape. The secret journals, which allegedly detail his desire to run away, are now seen by some as the blueprint for this escape. Then came Orion. In 1978, a book titled Orion told the story of a famous singer who fakes his own end to escape fame. At the same time, a masked singer calling himself Orion started performing. His voice was almost identical to Elvis's. He was even signed to Sun Records, Elvis's first label. It was all a little too perfect. Eventually, the man behind the mask was revealed to be a singer named Jimmy Ellis. But for conspiracy theorists, that was just another layer of deception. They believed the real Elvis was pulling the strings, using Ellis as a decoy. It might sound far-fetched, but the sightings kept coming. In 1987, a woman claimed she saw Elvis at a Burger King in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The story went viral. Why Kalamazoo? Maybe because it was so normal, so far from the glitz of Hollywood. It was a story people wanted to believe because it brought the king down to earth. The idea that Elvis could be out there living a quiet life was a comforting thought. The official story is clear, but the discovery in the hidden vault reopens old wounds and old questions. If he was so unhappy as the journals suggest, Would he have the motive to disappear? If he had the resources and the intelligence to build a global empire, could he have pulled off the ultimate disappearing act? It's easy to dismiss these ideas as fantasy, but the evidence, however circumstantial, is tantalizing. At the end of the day, we're left with a choice. Do we believe the official account, or do we allow for the possibility that the king played one last brilliant trick on the world? What do you think was really in those secret journals? The story seems to change with every passing year. Was Elvis a tragic figure, or the master of his own destiny? Let us know in the comments. Like this video and subscribe for more hidden stories.